love and life are deep. Maybe as the skies are white.
Peter, run! Yeah! Next time Stevie gets high on you, and the spacey invaders get by on you.
If you listen closely, Peter's actually saying, "Today's top spoiler, he gets high on you!"
Oh my god.
This is Spoilers.
This is spoiler.
Yeah. How'd you guys like that?
Amazing.
I love how you committed to it.
You have to, Josh. You just have to sometimes.
Well done.
Hey, everybody. This is your host, Stevie. And today we are going to be reviewing a Patreon pick from our superhero correspondent, PK. Isn't that exciting? Hooty hoo. And today we're going to be breaking... Go ahead, Josh.
Not a superhero movie.
Not a superhero movie. Just
It's got Lou Ferrigno in it, though.
It does have television's The Hulk. You are correct.
Yeah.
And Ant-Man.
And Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And J. Jonah Jameson.
And J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, God. Keep going. Who else?
Jane Curtin. Isn't she in one of these movies? No?
I don't think Tevin Downey is. Yeah, you're right. He looked much different in his younger days. But today we're going to be breaking down the 2009, I think. Yeah, 2009 comedy classic, I Love You, Man. Super, super exciting. And
Let's
also,
go.
Josh, you may be able to interpret this better than I. Actually, before we do opening questions, Pappy, do you have a review you want to break down?
John Favreau, by the way.
That's right.
I have PK's opening question here on audio that I can play.
Yes.
What's up, Spoilers crew? It's your superhero correspondent, PK here, coming at you with a non-superhero movie, because I love coming on those episodes and recording with you guys, so I wanted to give you guys something a little different. And
I didn't know he was
listening to your
live.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall episode, which is one of my favorite movies. I think one of you suggested that this would be a fun episode, so I am giving you guys I Love You, Man, one of my favorite comedies. Hope you guys have fun with it. And I do have an opening question for you. This doesn't have anything to do with the movie, but I've always wanted to play the character Indiana Jones. I'm trying to make my own Indiana Jones short film. So, if you could play any character in any movie or any franchise, what character would you want to play?
Interesting opening question. Also, I didn't know he was making a short film.
Neither did I. Good on him.
He showed me some of the stills. They look pretty cool. He's trying to get it off the ground.
We'll review it, and it'll be harsh.
Dang, Brett.
Just kidding. It's Stank Force 2.
Deep cut.
Sequel. Yeah. That's not one of our most popular episodes?
Oh, man.
Pappy, why don't you start off?
Tapsicle?
Test.
Hey, Pap.
Oh, hey, Pat.
Sorry, I was recording the system sound and not my own sound, so I'm going to have to use the Skype call. Sorry about that. Okay, if I could play any character from any franchise, this is Pappy, recording from Kalamazoo, Michigan. That's a tough one. I don't think it'd be Indiana Jones. I'm going to go with Jack Sparrow. I think that would be fun. I think it'd be fun to be part of the Gore Corps. I feel like if you were just a normal person who created Jack Sparrow, it'd be like an awesome career achievement. I feel like it kind of derailed Johnny Depp's career a little bit, but I don't know. Everyone loves Jack Sparrow. Nominated for Best Actor, classic character. Be fun to be a pirate. I don't know how we're supposed to take the question.
Yeah.
I guess. I think what would be the most fun and make a lot of money?
Yeah, do you have to be built?
Yeah. To be Jack Sparrow? No.
No, I just meant like.
I guess the character, Pat.
Shit. Yeah, I guess it's open for interpretation.
He said if you could play any character from anything.
So what's your problem then, Pap? What are you thinking?
I don't have a problem. I'm saying I would want to be Jack Sparrow. I would want to, like, I don't know. I think that would be a fun one to play. Why am I getting attacked for Jack Sparrow?
No, you're not. I'm trying to figure out the question. Is it to be or just to play?
Go to the tape.
Like, I mean, I would love to play John Wick, but I don't want my dog and my wife to be dead.
He's one of my top 4.
Listen, here it is.
What character would you want to play? Alright, so you guys can't wait to be on for more superhero movies.
I didn't take it as, like, what character would you want to actually have to
definitely not.
become. I thought it'd be like if you could play any character. Like,
Okay, I got you. George?
Oh, this is Josh from Goshen. I'm going to do something I typically do with these questions and use it as an opportunity to toss back to previous spoilers content. And do you guys remember when we did 20 episodes on the Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson's trilogy?
How could we forget?
Do you recall?
vaguely, yeah.
So, hear me out here. Don't you think it'd be so fun for me to play one of the main orcs? I could be the guy that kills Boromir. I could be the guy in the third movie. What's his name? Do you guys remember the names of the orcs?
Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah, the Harvey Gothmog.
Yeah, Gothmog.
Yeah, Gothmog, yeah. Josh, come on. You'd be the meats org.
I think I would. The good opportunity with orcs is that you could maybe play multiple because the makeup is different, and I could get a different orc scent for each one that I was playing. Get into character, just eat meat for days. Sounds great.
Leave it to Josh to play a nameless orc from a movie franchise.
Oh, I
That's who you'd want to
like
play.
the Helm's Deep, like rock orc, the one that like holds up a sword and screams for people to march
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
That's my dude. Like I would play him in a heartbeat.
Great paycheck. You're going to be there for all the hours, and also you can still walk down the streets without getting accosted for like being recognizable.
How about the Olympic torchbearer, Josh?
I'm telling you, any orc you could possibly think of would be so fun to play.
The suicide orc.
The ones that have the bad deaths would be fun. Yeah, the one running in strapped with the bomb. Awesome.
Fighting Aragorn, definitely got to be the big guy in the first one.
One of the ones that are like the smaller type that are just sprinting down the hallway that scatter once the Balrog comes. Just like one of those bitch guys.
One of the
That'd be
goblins?
fun too. Yeah. Just sprinting down the hallway against them and then running for your life down the hallway.
Josh, would you want to be the goblins in the Hobbit movies too?
Let's just stick to the Peter Jackson.
Hey, that's Peter Jackson.
Wait, what's the song?
It's all the franchise.
Do you guys still got the tune in your head from that?
When there's a whip,
There's
there's a way.
For Frodo of the Nine Fingers.
Whoever just did the whip sound is genius. I'm not sure who that was, but
Probably Pap. I just did it. Darn.
anyway, thanks for listening to that long-winded question. But yep, Josh from Goshen, orcs.
Brett.
Okay. I originally came in with 3, but I won't say all 3 because I don't want to be that guy.
Say all 3.
The thing is, like, what I was saying is it's like super unrealistic, but I love Superman. John Wick was also one of mine, and then make whatever joke you want. I know my wife will later. I would love to play Albus Dumbledore.
Ooh.
And I'd actually want to play him the way that he was written. Nothing against Michael Gambon. He's a fantastic actor, but he does a terrible job playing Dumbledore.
You like frail Dumbledore?
He's more accurate to the book. Richard Harris? Yeah, I like Richard Harris.
I do too.
What's the main trait you need to flip?
Dude, there is a clip on YouTube that's like 7 seconds long, and it sums it up so perfectly. I will send it to you.
Well, in podcast form, how would you describe the change in character?
Okay, so someone reads the thing when his name's in the Goblet of Fire and they're waiting in the secret room, the hit in the room. When Dumbledore comes in, it shows the book says Dumbledore asks calmly, "Did you put your name in?" And then it goes to the clip of the movie, and he's like sprinting in. He like grabs Harry by the the throat, and he's like, "Did you put your name in the goblet?" It's like,
well, that's not Michael Gambon's fault.
I think they catered the character to him instead of like Richard Harris plays it.
Writing's writing, man. You don't write for a character on a franchise like that. That's not his fault. He's just doing what he's told.
I said it wasn't dissing Michael Gambon. I just don't think he played it very well. So if it's his fault, if it was, who was it? Not Columbus. Who did the other ones?
Nariatu, whatever his name's called. I feel like he only did Prisoner of Azkaban. So like, Brett, who would be like your wizard lover in your like Harry Potter universe?
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Good question. A good question.
Well, first of all, I always hated that she came out and said that. She can say whatever she wants, but I always considered him asexual. So,
Alfonso Cuarón did Prisoner of Azkaban. My bad.
Cuarón, yeah. That's the other guy I was thinking of. Are you asking who my gay lover would be?
Yes. Like who in the Harry Potter wizarding world would you be like, all right?
That's a good question. I mean,
it's serious, obviously.
Yeah, serious. I mean, you got to go Kingsley Shacklebolt. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a Dobby man myself.
No, I think I'd want McGonagall. I mean, just change me. Be strict with me. Let's move on. No, Brittany, put those divorce papers away.
Okay, this is Stevie. If I could play any character, this seems pretty simple to me and pretty on point. I talk about it all the time. It was always my dream growing up to rob a bank, still is. I would have to be Johnny Utah. Like that, and the original Point Break. That'd be so much fun to play. Like you get to jump out of planes. You get to pretty much run around town. You get to play next to Patrick Swayze. And Gary Busey. That'd be a ton of fun.
Dexter kills people, but he kills bad guys. And you would rob banks, but for like a good purpose. I like it. Well,
to hang out with Patrick Swayze and to bring people to justice. Yeah. Like that's like...
the justice.
Would you go skydiving with one parachute with Patrick Swayze?
Oh, well, I'd go skydiving with no parachute and just hold on. No questions asked. I just hold on. Be like, all right, dude, throw it up whenever. I think that it's been a really fun film to work on. And that movie was perfect for its time. So easily Johnny Utah and Point Break.
Is that a franchise, though? Does that count?
If you want money, you pick Fast and the Furious.
The thing of it is like the first Fast and Furious is Point Break. So you get that one, too, and the new Point Break.
So he is saying if you were an actor, what role would be like your best role as a chance to get a successful career? Is that what this angle is?
I don't know.
Because maybe I got to rethink the orc thing.
Yeah, I thought orc was a weird pick, to be honest. If you could play any character from any franchise, orc.
Any franchise? Oh,
I also assume you get the paycheck that comes with it. That factored into my decision.
I would like to play Al Neri from The Godfathers. That'd be a lot of fun.
You have what, half a line?
But he's in a lot of scenes. He's just there witnessing greatness.
He's a big character in the book. He's
huge in the book.
In the movies.
Yeah. It's that'd be a lot of fun just to stand there, watch Al Pacino go about his day, watch Francis Ford do his work.
Oh, it'd be nice.
That'd be
do some coke with him afterwards.
Just stand there though. He just stands in so many scenes. He's just standing.
Plus, he puts on like 30 pounds between the first and third movie, so you get to eat.
You do get to eat. That'd be nice. I don't count the third one though. But yeah, I would say Al Neri if I was doing like a franchise.
Wow, what a deep cut, Stevie. I love it. Love it.
Speaking of love, let's talk about this movie, I Love You, Matt.
Picture yourself in a living room.
So, I'm a big fan. Man, I'm a big fan of rom-coms. Not gonna lie. This isn't your typical rom-com though. This is what. Pap, how long have bromances been around for?
Scrubs.
I mean, like, I feel like if the buddy comedy goes back like a long ways. You know what
The
I mean?
buddy comedy, but I'm talking like
Yeah,
bromance.
it's different. Like
Bromance?
Murtaugh and Riggs aren't bromance, but
no,
they're
but
buddies.
they're buddies. Yeah, this is bromance.
Like Psych. I'll just cut right to the chase, Brett.
Yeah, and Zach Braff and Donald Faison, they said they invented the bromance.
Wouldn't
so-
surprise me.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It's right around there, 20 years ago.
Yeah, I'd say it's about
became more
right.
popular.
Yeah, I think that's about right. And Josh, Peter is our main character, played by Paul Rudd, and he's kind of an odd fellow. He has no male friends to speak of, and it's his own doing. In your life, have you known any people like Peter?
That's straight, guys.
I try, but I can't let go of it. Can't let go of it. We shouldn't talk to the water boy. And there's
No.
so much you could learn.
Can I answer this in a slightly different way?
Sure.
I think every grown man has stretches of their life where they kind of at least feel like this.
No.
And I think you get in a zone where maybe you just kind of are working your job and coming home and just getting enough rest to kind of get by. Maybe you see your parents or family on the weekend and it's kind of rinse and repeat. And then all of a sudden you look up and you haven't had a conversation with a buddy in like 8 or 10 months or something. And I think for us on this podcast, a lot of that's staved away because of this podcast, which is cool.
It's true.
But I think like this movie takes it to an extreme, but it's taking like that little nugget.
I'm talking about the extreme levels. I've met one Peter in my life. and it
you
was
know
awesome.
real life Peter? Tell me about it.
I know a real life Peter, dude,
What's-
and it was weird.
Give us some of the traits that overlap here. I'm loving
Dude, this is gonna sound so
The
offensive.
no
It is-
lag between the vag. Is that?
Dude, yeah, it's it was peculiar. So
What's his name?
I really don't, because this is gonna sound terrible. Because this person sometimes listens to this podcast. So no, it's not the person, but it's like a kind of an affiliation. So let's just call it like a friend of a friend. I know this girl who has a friend. She's kind of an influencer. And her husband, who I've met like twice, is like a real life Peter. It was very weird. He's a
But
nice.
Peter's cool though.
No, but like, he's a nice guy. But
Makes root beer floats.
dude, that happened. Like chocolate straws and all. Like it.
I'm
Dude, not kidding.
Pepperidge
like-
Farm.
Like yeah, like the whole like chocolate shakes with I could say edible straws. That happened. Dressed very much like Peter. Had no stories whatsoever to speak of like previous friends or anything like that. Even just like simple guy talk was like a stretch. It was weird. Nice guy. Just you could definitely tell he was very much like Peter.
Pappy, do you agree with my premise though that there's like a kernel of truth that this movie takes that we all maybe feel a little bit, and then it takes it to the extreme or something?
Dude, I mean, especially now, like, I feel like it's, people work from home. Like, how do you make friends as an adult? I feel like that's,
Dude, that's hard.
I feel like that's a good question that this movie asks. Like, even more so than, like, someone being like Peter. I think it's like what you're saying, Josh. Once you get into that rhythm, it's like, how would you approach another man and be like, do you want to chill? Like, hang out? You know what I mean? It's just like an awkward thing to do.
Besides you guys, I have not made a non-work friend probably since college, and even that, I kind of had obviously I met people in college, but like in work friends, when I leave the company, I'm just not friends with them anymore. Like you guys are the only ones. Obviously, Josh and I were friends in college, but I mean, you guys, I didn't really know you guys. I met you right before you went to Amsterdam in the hot tub.
I mean, that's like, it's a good question this movie does ask, though, is like, in today's society, it's like nearly impossible, right?
In a work from home setting, it's like you're not gonna make work friends. Yeah, you need someone.
Well, I think you might.
And
You
I'm
might
gonna-
actually have to resort to some of the things that he does in this movie. What does Andy Samberg say? You got to be aggressive.
Yeah.
You got to
You
get
gotta be
out there.
aggressive. You gotta put yourself out there, man.
You see a cool guy on the street.
Gotta go to Galaxy games. Here we go, Galaxy.
And like you guys said, like I'm kind of with Brett though. I haven't made like a non-work friend like after college. Maybe like one. And that was just like it. Like as far as like non-work friends, but like even just like asking like another person like, "Hey, want to go grab a beer?" It's like it's a lot harder than it sounds, if that makes sense.
And that's who Peter is. Like, he's gotten to this point, but he doesn't have any previous friends from that
No,
life.
because he took that to an extreme where he was just always the girlfriend guy.
And there's a very real scene here at the beginning where we actually get to see two possibly kind of canceled people, Aziz Ansari and Nick Kroll.
Nick Kroll.
Is Nick Kroll actually?
Nick Kroll's
You
not
talking about
canceled.
the douche?
Okay.
The douche.
Ira and the douche.
Ibra in the douche.
As far as the movie goes, Peter, he has work friends and then he has this hobby fencing, which is kind of bizarre, but he's in like the fencing club of South LA or something. And so he has like fencing buddies, but when he goes to tell them that he's engaged, do you guys want to have a beer with me? They're actually already going to a bachelor party for one of the other three guys because they're all actually friends. I think it's Nick. Wait, who's getting married? Aziz is getting married.
Aziz.
Dude, Gil cracks me up when he later in the movie he's like, "Fuck me raw," like when he loses, he just blows
I
up.
love it when he's just like, "Fuck you, Peter," and Peter's like, "Hey, good job." Like, no, but like even that scene kind of like demonstrates though, like this predicament that he's in. It's like his fault because Aziz even mentions like, you know, every time we invite you out somewhere, you never want to go, which is just kind of
Yeah.
like the reflection of like where Peter is at.
Hey, so you guys want to, like, get some grub or grab a beer or something?
We're actually heading up to Joshua Tree tonight.
Oh, yeah? Oh, what's going on up there?
We're just doing this thing for Eugene, you know, kind of a bachelor party / camping trip kind of thing, you know.
I didn't even know you were getting married.
Yeah, taking the leap next Sunday.
Great.
Dirty little slut.
Whoa,
He's gonna lose his virginity finally.
I've fucked my girlfriend, he's kidding.
Right on. Very cool. Very, very cool. That's cool.
I would have invited you, man. I just didn't think that you'd be into it. You never really come out with us after practice and stuff. So
Oh, no, dude. Seriously, don't even. It's so fine, really. Thanks, though. Thank you. But, you know, it's funny, actually. I just got engaged myself.
wow.
You did?
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Good luck with that.
Thank you. And you too.
It's like one of those scary things, like you said, Josh. It just hits you all at once, and you wake up one day and you realize you have no male friends to speak of, not even previous ones.
If we're being honest, between that, like in the no lodge, between the Vaj, like to get into this relationship the day after he broke up with his ex-girlfriend and he has no other friends, like maybe Peter needs to take some time and work on himself, you know? Like he should have been hanging out with Jason Segel long ago, like while he was single.
But he didn't know him then, which is weird.
You don't think that's weird that like he gets engaged to the person that he met the day after he broke up with his ex-girlfriend? So like, that wouldn't be like a red flag.
Dude, that's like serial killer
He
behavior.
needs to go to speed dating like in 40-Year-Old Virgin. Let's move in together.
And the other thing is too is like, let's be realistic here. I mean, Peter is worth a lot of money, right?
He seems to be.
Like look at the house he has.
It's about to become a land baron, commercial
He's
real
about to
estate.
become, own a bunch of real estate. Like he's listing Lou Ferrigno, you know, the Hulk from television's house. Like this dude's not hurting for money. I mean, you think like with the job he has too, and he seems successful, he'd be able to network a little better and just, I don't know, have some friends, right?
But why does a man even really need friends? Just to provide arms for bridesmaids? Like, that's kind of fucked up.
I mean, that is kind of the thing that's like, the movie's like he needs a male friend. You know what I mean? Like those ladies at work, they love him. You know, they're all friends. Why can't they be?
Yeah,
his groomsmen, lady groomsmen.
Yeah, groomswomen.
I think a more realistic version of this scenario is that he learns a lesson and starts slowly becoming friends with Aziz and pals. Like you messed up on this one, but like start making it clear. Like, yeah, you would like to hang out at the bar next time, but I don't know. I think also the movie goes out of its way to show those aren't really like his people anyway. Like Jason Segel is his people somehow.
Wants to be right as the rain is better when something is wrong. You get excitement in your bones and everything you do's a game. When night comes and you're on your own, you can say I chose.
I have a question that I'd like to ask, just so I want to know. It's like an argument that Brittany and I had years ago, and after rewatching this movie, I'm like convinced 100% that I'm right. So, when it comes down to Forgetting Sarah Marshall in this movie, I love Forgetting Sarah Marshall a lot more. Brittany likes I Love You Man a lot more. Where do you guys stand? If I could ask that real quick.
I mean, I'm happy to be doing this podcast.
I'm not ripping on PK. It's a good movie.
Like, no. We can get into it down the line, but I prefer Forgetting Sarah Marshall because I feel like I Love You Man like loses some steam towards the end.
It's awkward too. That's the problem I have with it.
Oh, I love the awkwardness.
You love that. I mean, like,
especially how Peter can't talk.
Yeah, no, it's embarrassing.
It's amazing to me.
Brittany and I argue like she loves slapping the bass, and that's like one of my most cringeworthy scenes. And I'm sure we'll talk about it.
Sometimes we jam a little bit.
You play an instrument?
Yeah. Can't believe I've never told you I play bass.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I slap the bass big time.
What is that? You sound like a leprechaun.
No, that's a reggae guy. I just did reggae.
It doesn't sound
reggae?
No.
Slap the bass.
No.
How does it?
It's like big time. Big time. Big time.
Big time. Slap the bass, big time. Slap the bass. That sounded like Borat.
Yeah.
Slap the bass, big time.
That's better.
Thing is wrong. I get excitement in my bones, even though
So uncomfortable. I slap at the bass.
Slap at the bass, man.
Oh god.
Slapping the bass.
I mean, at the time, I liked this way more, dude. I don't think I realized. Is this not a Judd Apatow movie?
It's not. I always thought it was.
Dude, that is mind blowing to me because at the time it seemed like it was like almost like a sequel to Forgetting Sarah Marshall. But I think now I like Forgetting Sarah Marshall a little bit more. But I watched this movie so many times back in like high school. Like I watched this movie a shit ton back in the day.
One of my favorite scenes of the entire movie is kind of when Peter's going through his montage of like meeting people and trying to find like a male friend.
Thomas Lennon's great.
And oh yeah, Lieutenant Dangle. Yeah. But I mean, one of my favorite scenes is when he's trying to bro out with Jon Favreau.
Oh god.
And it's just little things like when Jon Favreau's going through like his poker talk and he, I forget what he says, but like kind of like a rainbow river. And Paul Rudd looks at him and he's like, I didn't know I had a rainbow. I'm sorry. Just little stuff like that is just awesome.
How do you feel about the puke in the face?
So gross.
Love every second of it.
Yeah, but if he was eating up close, it'd be gross.
Yes, 100%. Like, have any...
Jon Favreau, though, is like...
the biggest dick ever.
Okay, he's a dick to his wife, and they have this makeup sex thing, and that's their kink. But, like, why is he getting off on being a dick to Paul Rudd all the time?
He just doesn't like him.
I guess, but, like, it's to a weird extent. Like, I think his buddies are even a little bit, like, back off, man. I don't know. It's very aggressive.
Like, just an alpha, like an annoying type person.
Yeah, he's just alphaing, man. He's like It's kind of like, my wife is making me hang out with you. I don't have to be your buddy. I think he's just kind of like drawing that line in the sand. That's all.
Maybe he just plays it well because he's just pretty despisable.
You don't find him funny at all, Josh?
No, he's definitely funny, but I just think like if you would come out of this movie actually like wanting to hang out with that guy, I would think you were pretty crazy.
Right. I wouldn't want to hang out with that person.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be in the same like zip code as this guy.
No.
I'm so psyched for you. I feel like I'm gonna puke right now. Oh my god, hold on. Barry hates when I'm in the house during his poker night. Would you give me a second, you fat douche?
Get out of the fucking
Zoe
house.
just got engaged.
To who?
To who? Are you joking? To Peter.
Me. I don't know Peter. I think I like 20 times.
You've met him like 20 times.
I don't know Peter.
You don't know Peter.
I have no idea who that is.
Okay, we've been on like 20 dates with him. You don't know
I've
him.
never met Peter.
You are such an asshole. Sorry.
I know one or two people like John Favreau's character.
Yeah.
They have their moments.
I like at the beginning when John Favreau insists he's never met Peter.
I don't know.
And everyone's like, hey, you met 25 times.
I met him. I don't know. The puking scene, and also later in the movie when Favreau's at the Chinese restaurant, and it's so offensive, and he goes, "It smells like a pet shelter in here." Like,
yeah, he's not a great dude, I don't think.
Josh, have you been to like that kind of like part of like Santa Monica, like South LA?
No, where's the pier at that they're walking around?
Santa Monica.
I have been there.
No, I think there's Venice Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to Santa Monica Pier. I've not been to Venice Beach, but so this is like a LA movie. Is this like in the LA playlist for spoilers, Pat? Is Simi Valley in here? Are we missing not having Kylo on the pod?
What other movie did we do from Simi Valley? Was that
Everything Everywhere? Did you do that?
Yeah, that's in Simi Valley. That's it. It can be in the LA playlist. I mean, I feel like the fact that it's Lou Ferrigno's house is a big part of the movie. Like, do you think Lou Ferrigno can really afford a house that big in LA?
I've looked up his net worth. I don't think it's that high. Also, a lot of these filming locations were all in Venice or Venice Beach.
With the statue of Lou Ferrigno out in front, too. Set you back.
I mean,
Let's see.
I always felt kind of bad for Lou because he was all natural, but just had real insecurity problems.
Pumping iron.
Yeah, I mean, Arnold was so mean to Lou during those days.
$12 million net worth. Not bad.
I mean, you gotta imagine this King of Queens, like, royalty checks aren't too bad.
Did he work with him in that show?
Yeah, Lou, he was the neighbor. Pap, do you like that Lou Ferrigno plays himself in this movie?
Yeah, I love it. I think he's really funny. He's such a sweet guy, too. Like, I mean, I don't know. We'll get to Jason Segel. He can be kind of an ass sometimes. When he, like, attacks Lou Ferrigno, kind of unprovoked. He just puts him in a sleeper hold. Great.
So funny. Oh, my gosh.
He's like a gentle soul. I love that he's in the wedding party at the end, too.
Do you guys... How do I put this? Sydney's a great character. Like, I love like the way Jason Segel plays him. But do you guys find it weird that like Jason Segel like also never works on himself in this movie?
There's something missing, I feel like, in a cut.
Now shut up and drive.
I feel like there's supposed to be a revelation that he had like lost someone close to him, or he was going through something weird, or
yeah, but yeah, I'm with you.
Because I mean, he's like 35 in this movie. He's obviously like a very like successful like professional in his field. And like he doesn't really like ever like work on himself. He's either just hanging out with his friends, like having sex with randos. You know, he just, I don't know. I know Peter's like the main character, but I find it weird that Sydney also like never works on himself either, if that makes sense.
Well, it's
I
weird
think he's
because
just totally chill. Go ahead.
He's got a bunch of insecurities about all of his friends moving on. You know what I mean? But
right, and like he never hits that point.
He neither moves on nor like accepts those.
That could have been a sequel, I think. I guess. Like, I don't know. I just feel like he's just really.
I love you, man. Too.
He's like the epitome of chill. I don't know.
Well, you can be chill, but also still like.
I love you too, man.
Oh, I
There
like
it
that,
is.
Josh. I
That's
like
good. That's
that. I love you too, man. I love that. But no, like, I mean, I'm sure we all know some people like this, but it's like, it's not like he's in a rut or anything. He's like living his best life, but I mean, do you think he's just going to be like a single bachelor that kind of does what he wants forever, even after like Peter moves on from him?
Plenty of people like that.
Is Sydney just going to find another Peter?
He's gonna find someone to return the favor. God, that scene's freaking brutal.
I think in the context of this movie, their friendship will continue. Like, because I think Peter still needs a friend, if nothing else.
That's true.
And this is the only one he has. So
That's so true.
but I think that's like good to point out. And Stevie, do you also think there's something just like unexplained? Like,
I'm not even saying like settle down, but there's like something like missing. I don't know what, like, I can't explain it.
okay, like it's one thing to be open about your sex life, but it's another thing to have like your lube and lotion and like Kleenexes just chilling on the table next to you when your buddy's
Next,
over.
like the biggest bong ever. Dude, it's so ginormous back there.
Because I mean, maybe this movie is about like meeting the right person at the right time. Because you guys are right. I mean, all of his friends are moving on, like, or have moved on. It was like kind of one of those things where like the hike was like a big deal because we can all get together, and you know, those friends are kind of like saying like, "I'll see you in another 6 to 8 months." You know what I mean?
And it's so bright out when they're all leaving each other.
I gotta go.
It's like 2:00 in the afternoon. I got a jet.
He's kind of an ass, though. You know, I mean, like the dog poop thing. That's really not cool. Like, that's not even being like free. It's just being a douche.
Do you think he's got some Andrew Tate in him a little bit? He's like, your inner man, like scream, freak people out, throw feces around. That's just like.
That's the guy you went to?
Yeah, out of all people. I mean, this movie, like if you like really whittled this movie down like an IMDb, like the tagline would literally just say like, or the log line would just say, "Dude shows awkward man how to be a dude."
Yeah.
And
girl supportive, then not supportive, then supportive.
Brett. But don't you think it's like, if it's not full blown, and Brett, you hate this, toxic masculinity.
Ooh.
It certainly flirts with that. And that's why I bring up Andrew Tate. It's like you're allowed to kind of like push people around and get in their space and fuck with people because you're a man, and that's just what you got to do sometimes. And I think that's kind of bullshit, but makes for a funny scene, like when Paul Rudd really screams and it's just like showing his face and he feels like so vulnerable. Like, that's pretty funny. That's good filmmaking.
Also,
But
I mean,
a little toxic, right, guys? A little bit.
I would be pretty pissed if I was like on the phone at work and my best friend came in screaming while I was trying to like on a pretty serious call. Pap.
What was that? I'm a man, Peter. I've got an ocean of testosterone flowing through my veins. Society tells us to act civilized, but the truth is we're animals, and sometimes you gotta let it out. Try it.
I'm not gonna start screaming in the middle of the Venice boardwalk.
Come with me.
This is silly.
Indulge me. That was really good. Now gently remove your tampon and try again. Respect the process. Why do you want to mock the process?
Because it doesn't do
Yell.
anything.
If you don't yell, I'm going to punch you in your stomach. That was really good, man. That was terrifying. You scared my dog.
Stevie, what if you were pushing the kids around like that pier, and some bros underneath it are screaming at the top of their fucking lungs, like 12 feet below you, just scaring the crap out of your kids.
I would just,
and then
I would look
and
at
then
them
you
and
step in
say,
their poop.
I would look at them and say, "Don't do drugs, honey."
Step in their poop. It's not their
And then you
poop.
step in their poop
In
or the
their
dog's poop
poop?
or something. Who knows? He throws his poop around, he says.
It's not their poop. It's President Sadat's poop, Josh. Or Sadat's.
The poop that took a pee.
You know who I would... Sorry, I know we're talking a lot about Sydney, but like... Steve, you ever heard of like the character... The manic pixie dream girl character?
No, please go on.
I don't know. It's like... Brett, do you know what I'm talking about? Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Natalie Portman.
Like, isn't Meg Ryan like the epitome of that, like in the 80s, or is she not pixie enough?
Yeah, no.
Natalie Portman in like Garden State.
Mm-hmm. Shirley MacLaine in The Apartment, but someone who's just like just such a free spirit. You know what I mean? This person who's just like, and it's almost like, I don't know. Like the platonic male relationship version of that.
Manic pixie dream girl.
If Jason Segel's not, you know, I mean, he's a giant, manic giant dream friend.
This movie does kind of have like a meet cute though, so that does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Jason Segel is just kind of a giant version of that. Could you call this a screwball comedy, Pap?
Dude, I can't believe this isn't a Judd Apatow movie. That still blows my mind. I found that out today. I had always like in my head filed it under a Judd Apatow movie. Like the comedy feels like that.
Very Judd Apatow-ish.
Like a lot of the jokes like we talked about are awkwardness. And like some of them I still think are funny. Some of them I don't. Yeah, I kind of with you, Brett. Like I don't know if the Slappa de Bass makes me laugh as much as it did back in the day.
Yeah,
but it just feels like if they're just like setting up a camera and riffing. You know what I mean? Like that's what this is, which feels like a Judd Apatow movie.
So I looked up Manic Pixie Dream Girl, and on Wikipedia they give 9 examples, and only one of the ones we said is on there. And that, Josh, is Natalie Portman from Garden State. Nice job.
Let's go.
Very, very nice.
Do I win trivia?
Yes.
You won, Josh.
Apparently that was coined only in 2005 to describe Kirsten Dunst's character in Elizabethtown.
Would the girl from
God, that movie
Elizabeth Mary Winstead, would she be it for like Scott Pilgrim Against the World?
Isn't she more of a tough girl? I've never seen that movie. It's like on my list.
Oh, you'd love it. I think she would be like, would New Girl like be it?
Oh yeah, I see that.
It's Jess.
It's a stock character, exists solely in the fevered imaginations of sensitive. Oh no, that's not a very good example.
Pat, bring it all the way back to your point, though.
Sorry.
This movie makes Jason Segel look cool for letting his dog shit around town. It's weird.
But like he gets called on an event. I mean, I'm saying the stuff he does to random people, that stuff comes back to him when he tries to do the same crap to Lou Ferrigno. I'm just saying I feel like he learns. He says that stupid crap about returning the favor, but like by the end of the movie, he realizes how freaking stupid and embarrassing and uncalled for that was. Like I think he works on himself a little bit, and I think Peter helps him a little bit. I mean, again, I'm with you. He doesn't change that much.
But that speech, he's like vindicated because like Peter's getting the BJs by the end.
Let's go.
Plus, she talks about him. That's like the whole. That's my home improvement argument. I freaking hate Jill Taylor.
What do you mean?
She's the biggest hypocrite. I'm saying she talks about their sex life with her friends, but she gets like really mad at Peter for bringing that up, and that's a double standard.
Also, why is Peter so weirded out by that?
I mean, yeah, you'd think he could wear it as like an award, like something of honor. What I'm thinking of, badge of honor. But is that what you're talking about? Like, why is he weird about that?
Yeah, like why is he so like funky about like her friends bringing like stuff up like that? I don't get that. Our
best friend Drew just literally cannot talk about anything remotely like that. It's so weird. Some people are like that. They're super private.
That's the weird thing. I feel like the movie is like advocating for that because like later when they're in the car, he's like, "Well, that's how it feels when you do it to me," and she's like, "Okay, I won't do that anymore." You know what I mean? Like that's where they kind of land with it without they don't want to do that anymore in their relationship. But I was going to ask you guys, you're 3 married fellows.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you had a best friend, and let's say your wife, who's Quincy Jones's daughter, tells you that she doesn't like that best friend. You know what I mean? Or like, you know what I mean? The same situation as this movie. Or she thinks that the best friend doesn't like her. You know what I mean? And she says, don't tell him. Would you tell your best friend that? Like Paul Rudd does?
No, God, not if I...
Or not?
So, can you use like actual, like...
So it's the same example from this movie. Rashida Jones tells Peter, I don't think that Sydney likes me. And she's like, oh, I'll just talk to Sydney. And she's like, do not tell Sydney that. And then Peter turns around and tells Sydney that like right away. Like,
I wouldn't.
Well,
basically.
If he doesn't
in the
tell
context
her,
of this movie, Sydney is like can read him so well.
Yep.
It's like he can't hide it from Sydney.
Sydney's a body language expert. He's insane. He can spot a guy farting from across the way.
Dude, he could be in Psych.
By the way, this is an inside joke. Josh likes to bring up Psych. I like the show Psych. I recommended it to Josh once. He watched almost all of it. He liked it, yet he makes fun of me for it. It's not really made fun. It actually makes me laugh. It's just like nice ribbing.
I love to rib Brett for Psych and Buffy, both pretty equally. So if that ever pops up.
But I liked I liked Angel, and I watched Angel a lot more than Buffy. So why can't it be Angel? It's at least a little cooler.
Doesn't sound as funny.
Can you?
They're not comedies.
Can you say it like the people in Hot Fuzz?
What?
Angel.
Oh, Angle.
Angel.
Oh, Angle. God, I love that movie. That weren't me.
No, Pat, but like to answer your question though, like say my wife was ever just like, I don't like Pappy, but don't tell him. I would probably put it in your fucking ear and be like, dude, fix this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but Pappy would have 7 shots of Jack and be like, Stevie told me you don't like me. So like you're asking for trouble if you can't trust that friend.
Oh, I can trust Pat, but I probably tell you right away. I'd be like, dude, that's my wife. You're my best friend. Fix this.
I'm not talking about Pap. I'm talking about Pap Daniels.
Pap Daniels.
Brett, are you a trustable friend?
Yes.
Huh.
Tell me something between just us 4 right now. I won't tell anybody.
That whole situation with this weekend. Oof. You got it good.
Oh, yeah, but I didn't feel bad about it because he was freaking lying.
What the fuck?
The fuck?
I'll tell you about it later, Josh.
No, I know the whole thing.
No, he was lying, so I don't feel that bad about it. All right.
No, you can't tell anybody, Brett.
Should I tell the story, or does anybody care?
No, tell it.
Yeah.
All right, I won't use names. Can you go back and delete that? Okay, so I went home.
Editor's choice.
That's fine. He doesn't listen to the pod anyway. Josh, best friend Drew, and another friend, we all went out for this person's birthday. And I got to his house, and this person, let's just call him Mick.
Jim McMasters.
He was on the road picking up Josh. So I was hanging there out with his wife, and we got to talking about we were talking about smoking cigarettes or whatever, and we were talking about how we don't smoke anymore. And I said, do you vape like Mick does? And she said, Mick vapes?
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
I said, what? I said, I didn't say that. She said, Brett, does Mick vape? I said, no, I don't know what you mean. And she's like, just tell me. I can't believe I never would have thought he'd keep something from me. So.
Oh, Bubba.
Brett. I know. So then he got
a little serious, to be honest.
So then he got home and she disappeared. And I said, Mick. Please, hey, actually edit that out because that'll be funny sounding. Anyway,
we'll believe it.
I said, I got you in trouble. Man.
Oh, man.
He's like, what? I told him the story. He's like, oh, Brett. Turns out his wife, we didn't know where she was because she literally, right when he got home, she went out to his car and searched his car for a vape.
Oh, bubbies.
So it was kind of like a joke later on. But then after it was all done and she went to take Josh home, Drew's like, hey man, do you have that? He's like, got it. I was like, yeah, fuck it. He freaking time. He told me that was literally the I mean, he told her it was so
Bro,
I don't feel bad about it.
Edit this out again. You just busted him out again. What the
Well, edit that part out, all right? But that's bullcrap. I feel vindicated is what I'm saying. He made it seem like it was delete this out, by the way. Please.
It's fucking classic, actually.
I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty amazing.
It's gonna be hard to edit this one out, Brett.
But I'm saying I felt kind of bad about it. But then, like, when I found that he was lying about it, I was like, oh, F you, dude.
Well, that's not on you. Yeah. If he had told you not to tell his wife, you would have not told her.
Oh, yeah, dude. I didn't know. I mean, like, we've all smoked cigarettes I've smoked 3,000 cigarettes with him and his wife. So I just assumed if they had both quit smoking together, they were both vaping together. So
you can't hide a cigarette from your... Isn't there a lesson in this movie about you don't need to tell your wife, like, everything?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
If you're skipping work for a little bit, if you want to...
Mama don't know, don't hurt her.
What's the weird part, Pap? The fact that he hides stuff, or the fact that like he doesn't hide anything?
I don't get. But what's the big deal about skipping work? Like that's a weird thing to hide. Or like, why would he hide that? My impulse wouldn't be to like, I wasn't busy, so I was just dicking around. You know, like he's got to keep that from his wife. I'm not saying tell everything, but
yeah.
Well, it could have played into the movie a little bit better. Like later when he isn't sure about like their money situation. You know how that kind of happens briefly in the third act? Things are kind of falling apart. I think it would have been a good callback if she would have mentioned like, maybe if you weren't playing hooky all the time.
Ooh.
You would have sold the Ferrigno estate.
Yeah, if you would have sold the estate, if you would have like been putting more time into marketing instead of like sitting on the masturbation chairs with Sydney. I don't know. Yeah.
Let the good times roll. Let them knock you around. Let the good times roll. Let them make you a clown.
Do you not like his man cave? It's kind of fun. He's got the albums. He's got a picture of the snake smoking a cigarette. He's got the drum set.
Anwar Sadat?
Do we ever see the main house?
No.
Isn't that weird? What's the secret? Something's going on. Dude, there's like bodies in the main house, women's heads.
Stevie question, what does he do for a living?
Sydney?
Yeah.
Well, in my youth, I always thought he sold billboards.
I thought he was a VC. Like a venture capitalist, but I have no idea.
Have you guys ever met people that are like in like upper management, but not like the highest realm, but also like above middle management, and you have no idea what they do, and they make a lot of money?
I know what they do. They tell me what they do. They're literally in meetings all day. I just talked to someone yesterday.
Yes. You know the people that make a career out about meetings?
Yeah, and they don't like it, but I literally talked to a big boss yesterday. He's like, all I do all day long is I sit in meetings.
Yeah. There's people that make careers out of meetings.
Yeah.
That's all they do. All day is try to find solutions to things that'll never get solved, but they're in meetings about it.
That's funny that you put it that way.
Like, there are some people that make a good living that way. I feel like Sydney's one of those people.
It says on Wikipedia he's an investor, but I mean, like, I don't know.
He says he's an investor.
Yeah. It's pretty gray on what he invests in, but he did say he invested in Peter's business, but he's not going to get any money back, right?
He would be a crypto guy if this was set.
Dude, he would be, yeah. He'd be like one of the founding Bitcoin people that sold late, like bought early, sold late.
He lost his house and he's living in Sydney's basement. I mean, Peter's basement. Slab in the base.
Slab in the basement.
Slab in the base. It's base.
I mean, maybe Sydney is one of those people that just like is maybe like supposed to be like one of those crazy uncles for the rest of his life. Who knows? But
I think it's supposed to be his body language reading powers make it so he can just read people and figure out how to make money easily. And so he spends 99.9% of his life not worrying about it.
Like Nick Cage in Family Man.
Sure.
God, that was sad.
It's a great movie, but he knows people, Brett. But do you guys think that maybe Sydney is a trust fund baby?
Yes.
Do you think so, Pat?
Where do you get all this capital he's investing to begin with?
Yeah, where's he getting all this capital to begin with?
He knows people. He knows
Pretty
people.
nice drum set.
He knows how to read people.
I mean, 6 foot subs aren't cheap.
He does things that like a bored trust fund baby would do. Like yell at people in the street and
Or
let
just
his
saying,
dog
"Hey."
shit on the road for fun.
To me, it seems like he was raised, his parents died, and he was raised by an uncle. That's what it seems like to me.
That'd be a good backstory. I mean, he does kind of scream trust fund baby, though. Like,
Yeah,
calling
could.
for tacos, like during like work hours, just in a random part of the day. Because he has nothing else to do.
His money's in the market, man.
Yeah, he's tied up in equities.
Dude, what is... That whole thing is kind of contrived, right? Because, like, the movie just needs a reason for them to get in a fight, and it's that he lends them money, but, like, why would he not have $8,000? You know what I mean? Like, this guy who's just hanging around all day, this venture capitalist doesn't have $8,000 cash or can't...
That was a little strange, wasn't it?
He's not very liquid.
He writes him a check, I guess.
Dude, you could borrow against your liquidity pretty easy for $8,000.
I know, but I think the whole point is he wants Peter to come out of his shit. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. He wants him to believe in himself.
Because the $8,000 was literally just like, how do I even put this?
$8,000 is like $1,200 here.
I mean, I guess. Yeah. I mean, you're not too far off, Brett, but like, if that was something like his wedding gift or whatever, like, why not just...
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't know,
That's true.
just pay for it yourself and like not even ask for the money. But I think that the movie needed a reason for Rashida Jones and, Peter to get in a fight.
Yeah.
I will say it does line up with the spontaneity of Sydney's character. And I think maybe initially his plan was like, this is my way of showing Peter that this kind of investment in his own marketing is worth it. Like he was thinking Peter could blow up and this $8,000 would seem small. And Peter would be like, I owe you for like showing me this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of ended up being true. Like he sells the Hulk's house pretty quickly after these go up, and he finds his balls with his coworker soon after this too. Within the context of the movie, Sydney, most of the things he does that seem like asshole moves at first end up working out.
Would either of you guys lend your friends $8,000? Your best friend $8,000?
If I had it.
If you had exactly 8,000
liquid.
Which friend?
Mick.
If it was Mick, I would lend Mick money
for an investment opportunity that they can, an investment opportunity that they say they like can't tell you anything about. That's shady as hell.
I don't think I would do that. Like, first of all, I don't have $8,000 in my bank account. Sorry, I don't. So, no.
The Spoilers doesn't. The Spoilers Reserve certainly doesn't.
Spoilers doesn't,
Hey,
no.
if we get more patrons, then maybe I can get $8,000 in my bank account.
Come on, patrons.
I would say,
Pappy, what about you?
I would say, well, a friend who I had just met as recently as Peter had met Sydney, no. Any of you guys? Probably. Yeah, I think so. I think definitely.
If you could make everybody poor, just so you could be rich, would you do it?
Hap has offered to lend me money before when I've been a little low.
I think $8,000. I mean, like, listen, $8,000 is a shit ton of money, and like,
It's a fuck ton of money.
this is back then. You know, this is in 2009 money.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
But I don't know. Like, the thing is like, I feel like that's just a weird position for Sydney to put Peter in, more than anything. That's the thing.
But again, I feel like he's just trying to get him out of his comfort zone. I don't know. He's trying to work on him, or who knows. Also, 2009, he's a real estate agent. Yikes.
Yeah.
Perfect time, right?
Yeah, God. Can we talk about Robbie? I love Andy Samberg probably more than I should. And
I love him to death.
I think him and J.K. Simmons are... I know you do. I think he's really funny. And I think the best... I feel like the best line in the movie is... What does it say? And Robbie here. And my best friend, Hank Mardukas. And then there's Robbie. So freaking funny.
If you could make your money and then give it to
This is ridiculous. Why is it weird that I had girlfriends?
Nothing. We're just saying you never really had a best friend is all.
Well, who's your best friend?
I have two. Hank Mardukas has been my closest friend since our first year at IBM. Best man at our wedding.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Talked to him 2-3 times a week on the phone for 30 years now. And then there's Robbie.
What's up? Hold. Robbie is your other best friend?
Correct. And Hank Mardukas.
My wife gave me such a hard stare. We were watching this movie, and J.K. Simmons is like, "Well, Robbie's my best friend, and Hank Mardukas called him 2 to 3 times a week, every week for the past 30 years." And she looked right at me because, like, Drew and I call each other, what do you say, Pap? At least like 5 times a week.
Oh yeah.
Who's Drew? I was going to say to you earlier about not like Pappy acting like you don't talk to anybody anymore. I'm like,
Yeah,
don't
who's this Drew guy you're calling?
talk to Stevie every day?
Yeah, who's this Drew guy you're calling him? You have to call Drew and Pappy every day. I don't get it.
No,
Because I promise you, best friend Drew is not someone who will talk on the phone with you.
I would say that's another thing
freaking
that's a little
hates
bit weird. Like, at no point does Peter turn to his brother to like become a best man. You know what I mean?
That is odd.
Like,
At the
that's
end.
never even a consideration.
Yes, he does.
I mean,
like,
says they barely know each other.
maybe that's
No,
what the movie
but-
could be about. You didn't know your brother.
I mean, Josh, was your younger brother one of your best men?
Hmm.
One of my best men.
Groomsmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a groomsman.
Oh, you didn't make him a co-best man with other brother?
That's Drew Rockland, bro.
Best friend Drew,
Come on.
obviously, was my best man. And then my brothers were like right up there, but like Jordan was in college and Jared was like probably like in junior high when they got married. They were fine with it. And you know what? They were each other's best men, so all worked out.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Were you one of the best men for their weddings?
There's no one of best men. What weddings have you gone into where there's all these co-fucking best men?
I've been to at least 4 weddings where there's 2 brothers that are like co-best men with their one brother.
But one's the
Two brothers.
One's the real best man, though, right? Like, we all know.
Wait, Jared hasn't been married, so how could they be best men to each
Well,
other?
I'm sure they will be. They will be. If Jared does get married, that is. I mean, no judgment if he does or not.
I hope PK doesn't ask for a refund because we've spent... we talk about the movie a lot. He loves it.
I mean, we can talk about the movie and go in tangents. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
This is spoilers. I mean, very rarely on episodes that I host will we talk about the movie the entire time.
I like that, too.
Yes. So, I guess I could say this. Have you guys ever had to like break up with a friend before?
I mean, I've had a falling out with someone for a few weeks and then became friends with him again.
I feel like it's a dick move by Peter to ask for the lost DVDs back. Like, dude, come on, chill a little
Come
bit.
on, that's petty as shit. Like, you obviously didn't feel comfortable about doing it in the beginning, then you're really gonna ask for him back when you guys like have a falling out. Like, that's petty.
Mm-hmm.
It's Tom Petty.
She really wants to know what happens in that hatch. They took me back, man. That was a great line.
I don't think I've ever broken up with a friend, I guess, if you want to say. Other than work, work friends. If I leave the company, it's just not going to work, man.
Really? You don't talk with like other work friends anymore?
Very, very rarely. I really try. It's just something that I was a groomsman in the guy's wedding. Haven't seen or spoken to him since.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now, he was oh my God, I can't believe I didn't bring this up. He didn't have any friends.
That's sad.
So it was that's why I was a groomsman, and 2 of his other work people were groomsmen. The guy he asked to be his best man dropped out 2 weeks before the wedding because he didn't have any money. So it's
when I was in 5th grade, me and best friend Drew were having a little bit of a falling out, and I was friends with this other kid for a while. Let's say his name's Jimmy. And Jimmy's mom worked in the schools, and at some point Jimmy told his mom on me for something cussing or saying something mean or something like that, which
buddies.
Spitting?
No, cursing or saying something mean. When I was definitely pure of heart, never trying to be mean to anybody.
Yeah, right.
Of
course, not
so
even
taken.
remotely true.
No,
burning a tent to the ground.
Okay, fair enough. I could see
Other
you
than the
guys.
guy you beat up on the bus.
Yeah, or the tent you burned.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably beat him up.
You guys earned this.
We know you too well, Josh.
Anyway, all I'm gonna say is that so he told on me, and then I really felt like I can't be friends with this person anymore. And I didn't break up with him, but it was definitely my first remembrance of a turning point where it's
snitches get stitches.
It was Caleb. It was Caleb again, wasn't it?
Absolutely not. Caleb's still a homeboy to this day.
Even though you beat him up.
Oh, I didn't. Move on. Editor's cut.
I really want to go back to where Brett goes, that guy didn't have any friends. Josh, can you just edit the point where it goes, that was spoilers? Just in case he's listening, the episode can end there.
He's not.
Peter, eventually, I feel really, I'll say this, as much as I'll make fun of Peter in this movie, I feel really bad for him when Rashida Jones, Quincy Jones's daughter, just goes after him for finding a friend and enjoying stuff to do with that friend.
Yeah, she's a hypocrite.
And the idea that Peter is seeing his dream band with his best friend,
so annoying.
That knows the lyrics to everything, and she gets mad that he doesn't share that with her. I find that to be so mean.
Guys,
it's 2009. No. DVRs are a thing. You can tape Sunday night HBO and watch it later.
But no, Stevie's right. Oh my gosh, go ahead, Josh.
They are acting so weird in the audience. They're doing lesbian finger licks for something.
Dude, they're
I don't know what else to call it. Whatever
they're jamming out, man. It's fucking Rush. Getty Lee,
son of life, son.
Josh, have you ever got to see your favorite band and you didn't go rock out?
I don't think I've ever done anything like that. What I saw,
I have, and Lauren didn't bat an eye, and she enjoyed it with me, even though she didn't know half the lyrics I did.
Same, and it was a really long concert. And she said, "I had fun. I know how bad you want to see him." So,
give Quincy Jones' daughter Rashida Jones, Zooey, in this movie. Give her a break. She brings this all up to Peter. She kind of ribs him about it, and she even rips on him for talking about their sex life with their friend. And when he points out the hypocrisy, and she also sees the truth in what he's saying right away. And I really like that in this movie, that that didn't become a sticking point for like a whole act of a movie before it was resolved. It was like a real feeling conversation where people could kind of change their minds or something. It's cool.
But that doesn't change the fact that Stevie's right. She wanted him to do this.
Dude, seeing a dream band and like yucking on someone's yum, like for enjoying it, even how weird it could be, he's not hurting anybody and he's enjoying himself.
Did you see how he dropped her hand?
Oh no, he dropped her hand.
He had a bass solo. He had a bass solo coming up.
Dude, they were bass soloing. Like,
you dropped my hand.
He knew her all too well.
Stevie, do the impression of the drums. Neil, Pert, back from the grave.
She's petty for that, but like when she asks him why he wants to marry her and he's like, I don't know, like he does botch that conversation.
Dude, he really fumbles that one.
Which one?
Towards the end when he doesn't know why he wants to marry her. Like that seems like kind of a big deal.
Oh God.
She's right to walk out after that. Like,
yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching the scene right now where they're rocking out. Like, I guess I'm being a little unfair because like what Peter's doing is like kind of like doing the solo to Zooey, and then he's like turning back to Peter and then like doing their things, and eventually he just like starts ignoring Zooey, and I think like that's where she gets put off, is he just like completely ignores her, but still she should be understandable that like this is Rush, man, and he like worships Rush. Like let him just have this. Like if you're gonna bring a friend that can't golf at all and ruins the entire afternoon, like at least give him this, right?
Yep.
If we're talking about Rush, Stevie, there's a scene that precedes the concert that I love. Peter finds out that Zooey has never heard of Rush before, and he goes to play it on his computer. He's so pumped to share this like media that he's loved for his whole life. He cues it up. He makes sure that she's ready to hear it.
Hey, let me ask you something. Are you ready to get your world rocked?
Ready! Yes.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Do it!
You want to get some Neil Peart all up in you?
I don't know.
Well, prepare to be Rushified! Sounds better on big speakers.
I could see that.
Good, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the thinnest, shittiest computer audio, and there's like no bass to it. And he's nodding his head, and she's like kind of squinting to listen. You know what I mean?
She's like, yeah, my dad's Quincy Jones. I don't listen to this kind of music.
Side note, one of my coworkers I just found out just heard Stairway to Heaven for the first time. She's like 27 or 28.
Impossible.
Oh, geez, really?
What'd you think?
She liked it. She had heard of it. I don't know. I don't want to talk about that. It's too weird.
Play it backwards.
Or listen to it on Wayne's World.
Which is funny because he doesn't play Stairway to Heaven. But
no, that's like one of my favorite parts. There's
no stairway.
No
denied.
Stairway denied, but it's not
God,
even
I love
Stairway.
that
It
movie.
cracks me up every time.
Hey, that's because they didn't get the rights for that, by the way.
I know. It was a big sticking point.
It costs like, don't they charge like $17 million per song?
They did. They used to charge like Springsteen, I think, is still the guy who charges the most.
Really?
Out of any artist still.
Oh, yeah.
I think. Yeah. Blended by the light. But no.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the theatrical run of Wayne's World, you would have heard the first chord and a half.
Really?
Of Stairway to Heaven.
Really?
Yes.
That's cool and weird.
But from then on, it was like zipped shut, and you can't.
Did they get sued?
Can't find that anymore.
Well, they had to have because Robert Plant was charging asinine amounts.
Yeah, he was a bad one. He was a
really bad one for this. And I think like Springsteen pretty much overtook everybody for how much he charges per song.
That's so weird. It doesn't seem like him at all.
Well, his concert tickets are the most expensive too, right?
Well, he puts on 4-hour shows.
Ungodly expensive. Yeah, Springsteen. Yeah, Springsteen charges a fortune. But what were we even talking about before this?
I asked if you liked the soundtrack to this movie.
Oh, the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's like it's very indie of late 2000s.
Very like spoony, very like Vampire Weekendy.
I love Vampire Weekend.
Like, does those bands kind of track with this movie?
Mm-hmm. Let's see, Vampire Weekend, Rush, Black Keys, Beck, Rush, The Cars, Vampire Weekend.
I like Black Keys. I do like Black Keys.
I've seen them live. Matt Costa, the Donnas. So, yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of. It seems like it's kind of a 90s,
kind of like a late 2000s, like indies. Like,
well, yeah, no, that's definitely part of it. And I feel like there's also some maybe like 90s ska or something. I don't know.
What was that band called? What was that band called that's playing when he's going to get tacos? Is like Bone Daddies or something?
The Bone Daddies. That's what it is. The Bone Daddies.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I think
that Costa.
Here's what I'll say. I think the soundtrack works really well for its location, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
takes me back.
Yeah, I feel like playing this soundtrack in like Northern Indiana wouldn't make any sense. But like for Southern California, I think it works really well for its environment.
Hold your tongue. The Cars would work.
I was waiting for you to say something about the Cars.
Big Cars guy, Josh?
I'll die on the Cars hill.
What about Incubus?
They're both dead. Don't get him started on Incubus. He's wrong about Incubus.
What do you mean?
Let's move on. I don't feel like getting angry tonight.
Yeah, but I think the soundtrack does work well. Part of me wishes that I understand it's kind of like a. How do I say this? Do you guys think this is kind of like a box store comedy, if that makes sense?
Box store?
Yeah.
Explain.
What does that mean?
Like box store is like kind of what you'd say for like kind of just like off the rack stuff you can pick up anywhere. Like let's say like I was like going to get something for like my house. I could like go to like Lowe's, Home Depot, and Menards. It's all the same thing. But if I wanted to find like something truly special,
you go to Home.
I could like I don't know, it doesn't exist anymore, but I would have to like go to like a smaller company. You know what I mean? Kind of like a custom company, like find that.
Nice. You put Homan out of business. Nice, Stevie.
I tried, man. I tried.
Good job.
But, right? But part of me does wish, I understand this is like a by the numbers comedy, but one thing that I think gives Forgetting Sarah Marshall like a super leg up on this movie is the Dracula music.
Oh, God.
Like, there's original songs in that. And that is like, it's not the biggest part of the movie, but it's like a real big like cherry on top that like this movie has like that. And part of me does wish that this had like original songs, or at least like original score to it.
Kind of shows how brilliant Jason Segel is, though.
Are not in love with me.
Like, yeah. I know, like, we could rip on him for Sex Tape, but like, he wrote Forgetting Sarah Marshall, he wrote the music. I mean, he literally wrote a Dracula musical. Like, he's just really, really smart and talented.
Do you guys get annoyed at all about how much crossover between the characters there is, though?
What do you mean?
Explain.
Like this movie just needs Seth Rogen in it. And... Is that what you're saying? Or similarities?
I guess.
Or like the similarities between like Sydney and Peter.
I think Jason, his character is just like, you just feel that he's kind of the same guy. It feels like a sequel. It feels like he's a continuation of his role from other movies. At some point,
I don't think he's even remotely the same in either of these two movies.
No, he's like, I mean, he's not a bad actor in this, but he's like a really good actor in Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
He's depressed. Yeah, there's
like he's a depressed, out of sorts man in paradise.
I think he's depressed, rich, white, does something weird for a lot of money, and is musically talented, and scores women above his pay grade.
He's super tall
and a lot of the stuff.
Dong.
I'm just listing the similarities that I see.
We've
Maybe
seen
they
his
end there,
dong.
but-
His pay grade is fine. He's doing appropriate. He's put it out there.
When you said tall, you were talking about his dong is
Yes.
tall.
No, yeah,
That's a weird way to just. Okay.
Linda Cardinelli like broke up with him and he was naked, man. Like,
Yeah. He needs to be his L on some T's. That's from the movie. Everybody.
But it could, like someone said, it could literally be the same character, but this is the left turn he took after Sarah Marshall. Like he's done with women, so he just does these one night stands and has a masturbation room.
I think the weird thing, I just think it's because it's Paul Rudd and him again. That like,
yeah.
I think it's literally just like their juxtaposition. You know what I mean?
Sound like you're from London. Sorry, I didn't get to be on that pod. It's all coming back to me. I'm sorry.
There's a lot of famous people in this movie. Like Matt
a
Walsh.
lot of famous. Yeah, Matt Walsh is in this.
Dude, if you like go down the IMDb, there's like a ton of people. Like, I mean,
rate of play.
That's a real thing, man. That is such a real thing.
Definitely. Jay Sanders Seacar's in this movie. Super Troopers fame, Catherine Reitman.
Oh yeah, you mean the original editor from Los Enchiladas?
Oh god.
I think that was like his first break into show business. Was he was the editor for Los Enchiladas?
Really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he edited that movie.
You know the old guy who has like a younger picture on his online friend profile?
Is that Murray Mel Stein?
He started acting when he was 79. Thought that was pretty cool.
He's dead.
Good for him.
Or he's like
he's the guy from he's from Up, right?
God.
Yeah.
He's in The Hangover.
Yeah.
I mean, Alan Rickman was that way, I think.
Well,
Did he start acting in his 40s?
Samuel L. Jackson's definitely like that.
Yeah.
He started much later. I don't know if Rickman did a lot of theater and stuff. He didn't get his first. I mean, his first feature film was Die Hard, which is incredible.
Pap, can you do your ho 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 for the audience?
Wait, ho ho ho.
Huh.
You
Ho ho ho. How. Rest in peace. Last movie was the sequel to Alice in Wonderland.
God, it's so sad. It makes me sad.
God, he's like the one I missed them. And I hate the fact that they're freaking releasing his diaries. Freaking family trying to leech his money off of him. Gonna make him look bad. Sorry.
Stupid Joe knows.
No, it's his. I think it's his family.
I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I don't. I listened to a true crime where the journos did something terrible. So F them.
We can't really say journos all
You
the
said
time.
it.
It's too weird.
Journalist, I guess. I don't know.
Journos.
Journos and Yanks.
Okay, let's get back on the movie. So,
Yeah, sorry.
Peter is like starting to like better himself after the billboards come up, and not better himself, but his life is starting to get better. Kind of like without Sydney being there, and that always made me sad. And I don't know if you guys have been to weddings where you just see a motley crew of like what the hell, but I've been to a couple, and I really like that part of the movie where it's like just like Lou Ferrigno and Mel and was
Joe Trujillo.
Was Boyle one of them? Yeah,
Yep,
Trujillo.
definitely.
Was Thomas Lennon one of them? Doug?
I believe they all were. Yes.
Yeah, so I do like the motley crew of it.
He
And-
made me laugh the most, Doug, for some reason. More than the Hulk, more than the squeaky dude. It was like,
Give me your Ika! Give me your Ika!
the guy that kissed him on the date.
Yeah,
That's
Thomas
Doug,
Lennon's
right?
amazing in everything. Yeah, it's Doug.
Yes,
but yeah,
Thomas
I do love
Lennon's-
Lonnie though. I love Joe Trujillo, so he's really funny.
That character is so great because it goes. He's hardly in it, but he goes through a full arc by the end of it for sure.
110%.
Like he thinks that he's on a gay date, and then he gets devastated that he doesn't call him, and then he ends up hooking up with his.
You think
brother?
that's the last time you're going to see him, right?
Yeah.
And then he like
It just comes out.
But then he's cool enough with him to be one of his like groomsmen, not best men, Stevie, because there's only one best man. But he's one of the groomsmen.
I've seen Best Man, all right? I've seen Best Man.
You're obsessed with it. Like, oh, everyone should have best men.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying like when there's three brothers, usually there's like two best men. But I get it because of the age differences. I get it. All right.
Larry Wilmore is the officiant, by the way.
Is he?
That's funny to me. Yeah.
Was he still on? What was he doing
Daily
at
Show?
this time? Yeah, was he still on Daily Show during this time?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, show. He had his own show, though, didn't he?
Maybe. I don't know.
One thing, like, I do like that, like, Zooey, I mean, I wouldn't say that she redeems herself, but she can kind of see it, is when she calls Sydney to, like, get to the wedding, and he's already driving there.
Yeah, that's funny.
I do like that. Like, that's that's just, it's not even just, like, good comedy, it's just good writing. I like that.
I love the way Sydney walks up the aisle. Like, when he's walking up, he, like, takes this, like, all ceremoniously, one step at a time.
And he has to stop, like, Lou Ferrigno from fighting him. I love that part, too.
I would critique this a little bit, Stevie, because I think there's two jokes here at the end that really stick out. There's the one at the very end where they're saying, I love you, man, back and forth. And that's one of the long, awkward parts that we've been pointing out. It's so crazy that they're doing this right in the middle of the aisle in front of everyone, and it goes on for so long.
It follows movie law, though. You have to say the name of the movie in the movie.
Roll credits.
I'm really glad you're here, Sydney.
Me too.
I can't even imagine getting married without you. I love you, man.
I love you too, bud.
I love you, dude.
I love you, bro Montana.
I love you, Holmes.
I love you, Broseph Goebbels.
I love you, Machacha.
I love you, Tico Brohe.
Okay. All right. Let's continue here.
I so want to marry you.
You will.
I'm going to.
Zoe, repeat after me. I, Zoe Rice,
I, Zoe Rice,
take you, Peter Klaven,
take you, Peter Klaven,
to be my lawfully wedded.
That's such a harsh scene for me. I wish they would have taken a little bit away from that and added it to this joke with him being on the freeway on the Vespa. I think the reveal could have been just a little bit more like drawn out and could have spent a little bit more time there. I felt like they were rushing that a little bit. That's really good stuff.
Do you think this would have been a better movie if he's driving to get there and he gets hit by a car? And they all leave the ceremony.
Whoa.
And they go to the hospital. He's like, get married, man. He's like, I'm not going to get married without my best man.
No, I don't think it would be a better movie if they
Disney,
did.
Fox, give me a call. I got the movie.
That's what they did for the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh, yeah. Got
When
the
he
road,
flies-
virgin.
When he flies out of the truck and he finally tells her he's a virgin.
I will say to Brett's point, though, there may have been a little bit of a hint in the movie that something like that could have happened. And it goes back to the Jason Segel secret that I feel like there is.
I love how you call him Seagal. Please don't ever stop that.
I can't help it. I'm sorry that I
love
do
it
that,
so
listener.
much.
Flock of Seagulls.
Flock of Seagulls. Jason Seagal, son of Steve.
There's something dark there that I think was just erased from the script or something. I need it explored. I need someone to point out some fan fiction where it's like,
I told you, I think his parents died and he was raised by an uncle who was a bit of a ladies' man.
that's really good. I really do like that, Brett. But I think there's something like current
it could
as
be.
well, you know.
Maybe his heart's broken. Or he went hiking with his
Maybe
girlfriend.
he was just recently divorced.
And cliffhanger, he couldn't hold on to her. And she fell.
But I mean, just planting and payoff. Like he's driving this rickety, like he's got a bumper car and he's driving this rickety Vespa around. I think if he did die at the end, I don't think it would have been completely like unforeseen. Like that could have happened.
His last words are, I love you, man.
Yeah.
And he's like, I love you, man, too. The sequel.
The sequel.
Sorry, I keep derailing it.
Josh, do you know anybody that's gone through like midlife crisis behavior? Because I think that's like an arc this movie could have done, but like didn't.
Like 40-year-old virgin, sort of?
No, like midlife crisis, like people that just go to open houses to like hook up with women or like
eat.
I don't know. Sydney just seems kind of like close to midlife crisis mode, if that makes sense.
I kind of went through a midlife crisis in my late 20s, early 30s. I started the whole internet dating thing after like waffling through life for like since I had left college the first time. If we're getting real, it worked out.
It worked out, right?
It did.
But I just find it weird that like Jason Segel doesn't either like move on from that midlife crisis that he's having, if that's what you're getting at, Stevie. Or or that he becomes at peace with like, oh, I'm just not a guy who's gonna have kids or settle down. You know what I mean? Like,
there's so many people that don't want to have kids to get married, though.
Right?
That's fine. Yeah.
But then he's got to be okay with his friends moving on. So you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is kind of like that balance, I guess.
But I think like, what do you want? Like them to show scenes of him at their kids' birthday parties, like carrying them around on his shoulders or something,
like Big Daddy.
Something, yeah.
Like Big Daddy. That's what you want. You want a Big Daddy ending where it's 6 months later, or it's a year and a half later, and he's got a kid. He's got his life together.
No, I don't want that.
No.
But I think he could be like a good uncle, right?
Yeah, I mean, he'd be a great uncle. That's awesome. But also, like, just, I want to see kind of like him longing for like a mirror image of himself, if that makes sense. Like, every character has like wants and needs. And
like he secretly wants Paul Rudd. Wait, he wants Paul Rudd and Rashida Jones to die so that he can raise his nephew. Like
exactly.
He was raised.
Like that's what I want.
I get it now.
So the sequel is I Love You Too, son.
See, it rhymes, Josh. It rhymes.
I love you too, son.
I love you too, son.
I wasn't sure how that would go over. Thank you for laughing at that.
That's awesome. Before we get into yes or no, do you guys have any final thoughts?
Do you think it would have been better if there was a scene at the end where he met, and I'm being serious this time, like, you kind of riffing off what you just said, like, he meets someone who's, like, drumming Rush at the buffet table, and she, like...
I don't care if he meets somebody, but there's, like, a montage in this movie where Sydney is literally calling people in the wee hours of the night to come watch TV or come get drinks.
Oh, yeah, it's sad.
It's a sad, like, scene... And I mean, there has to be something to like kind of bridge that beyond like Paul Rudd being his friend, right? I mean, what are his wants and needs in life? Like why is he doing these things? Or I'm not saying he has to have kids or he has to find a wife, but like, you know, there's scenes where he's just like drinking and like watching movies or calling people to come watch TV. They're obviously like, even if they're not married or have kids themselves, they're kind of, you know, trying to move forward in life where he's kind of stuck.
We've done this before. It's just like a future Stevie question. A year and a half from now, are they still friends?
100%. And I think...
Okay, you think so? I worry that he's going to be, like you're saying, he's when Peter can't hang out with him, he's going to, like, not know what to do, and he's going to be calling Peter all the time.
Why I want to see... I understand he's not the main character, but I want to see Sydney's growth, too.
Him and Lou Ferrigno become best friends.
Or, you know, it'd be cool to see, like... You know, Sydney, like, move, like, you know, a couple of houses down or next door to Peter. That'd be cool, too.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Ooh, what if he starts hanging out with J.K. Simmons and Andy Samberg all the time? And it's like those three.
Just that.
And Hank Mardukas, too.
And Hank Mardukas.
Yeah, they got a good foursome going.
Like, that would be, like, cool. Because, I mean, I want that for Peter, too, not have to worry about Sydney when he's, like, too busy to do something. Like, that'd just be cool to see. There's stuff to be expanded upon here. That's why I love this movie.
Would that be like a coda, like at the very end, or is that what they call that, Pat?
Well, yeah, but I think even I Love You Too, man. Like, I'm kind of surprised there wasn't a sequel to this. I mean, that is exactly what it would be about, right? what happens with Sydney.
Well, they made that movie though.
What
it was
is
called? It was called You, Me, and Dupree.
That was before this.
I know. So I said they've already made that movie.
Oh, okay.
Like they made it.
What's crazy is that how much that mirrored his real life at the time, which is really sad.
Right?
That's the Owen Wilson joint, right?
That's the Owen Wilson with Matt Dillon and Michael
Hudson.
Douglas. Yeah, so I really would love it. And I love you too, man. I'm kind of down for it, Pap. Especially like years later, like 10 years later, 15 years later. I'd be down to see that. That'd be really cool.
There's a couple movie references. I mentioned Johnny Depp earlier, wanting to be
Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow. And if my audio quality was bad, because that's the moment I realized I wasn't recording locally. So hopefully we fix that. But a Chocolat reference. Never seen that movie.
It's chocolate.
You like it?
Chocolate.
It's chocolate.
I've never seen it.
It's chocolate too.
That's Juliette Binoche.
Yeah, I saw that in theaters.
Future spoilers pick. What about Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium?
With I think Dustin Hoffman's in that. Yeah, I've seen the Wonder Emporium.
There's a couple lines too from this movie. Jobin calling it an hyphen. I don't know if we talked about the douchebag real estate agent very much.
Tevin?
He
Tevin?
plays that character really well.
In every movie.
Yeah. Isn't he in that Murderville?
He's in that. He's also in what's that cat movie with Key and Peele?
Keanu?
Keanu, yep, he's in that. And he plays an even bigger douche in that movie. Yeah, he's in a lot of I'm a turd.
Yeah.
I'm a turd roles.
He goes, "Easy there, big girl."
I love that line.
Oof.
Jobin, hyphen. I think I mentioned those. Those cracked me up. Jimmy Pardo was a comedian, and he had a sketch where he did like a high bass. And he had that like right before this movie came out. I never heard if they ripped that off or not. But my last final thought, Stevie. Anwar Sadat's daughter sued the production of this for the depiction of her father. I think it was dismissed, but they also called on the American embassy to issue an apology.
No.
Boo fuckity who.
It's not like he said, he's going to get assassinated. Come on. He just said he looks like him. Come on.
But
now.
he's a dog.
So? Are you done, Pap?
Yeah, that's all I had.
Okay, so...
Wait, I thought I got the answer. You said so.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
go
get
ahead.
to say so.
He's dead, Josh.
So what if someone said you look like a dog?
Okay. If it's in a feature film, I don't know.
And you had a chance to get some money if you sued.
Yeah,
That'd be a good deal for you.
He's been dead for 40 years. Get over it. I'm just kidding, Egyptians. I'm sorry.
Josh, give me
One
final
more
thoughts.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, let me finish just because we talked about it. In 2019, Lou Ferrigno said, "I talked to Paul Rudd. They want to do it, a sequel." So apparently Paul Rudd has been talking about it, and there is a chance they'd love to do it again.
Oh, I love you too, man. Then you can really explore Sydney. I would
It makes
he's
so
a
much
character
sense.
that's worth exploring, I think.
Dude, that's
the thing about Lou Ferrigno is that in Snap, the Hulk doesn't even have an ability.
I know. He's just a big power card.
Yeah, no ability at all. Sorry, Pap. Go ahead.
No, sorry. The thing about Jason Segel, he really disappeared for a long time, too.
Yeah.
Kind of after How I Met Your Mother run came to an end, I feel like his movie career culminated in that Muppets movie that he spearheaded, and then he was just disappeared, wrote YA novels or whatever, and he's just now recently coming back with that Harrison Ford show.
Yeah, that's
really
Shrinking,
good.
and isn't he
Shrinking
good?
is really good.
Isn't he good in Winning Time?
He's actually amazing in Winning Time.
Still haven't seen that. I can't believe I haven't seen that.
He's a really good actor. I just think he has a lot of depth to him. I mean, I even liked him. I thought he was a good actor in Freaks and Geeks.
You're right, Pappy. Like, it's like After Sex Tape is such a bomb. Like, he did a movie in 15, 17, 18, 19. And then he started doing this, I don't know, Dispatch from Elsewhere. I don't know what that is. He was part of that Princess Bride Home movie thing. And then The Sky is Everywhere, Windfall, and then The Winning Time and Shrinking. So it's really weird. You're right. But
he was huge around this time. Like, Marshall was like my favorite character. And I think a lot of people's favorite character from How I Met Your Mother. And these movies and the Muppets, like I said.
Well, dude, you have to imagine how tired he was, though. Like, to be in the writer's room nonstop for a show like How I Met Your Mother would be so hard. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he just lived at that studio.
Did he write for it, too? I don't think I knew
Yes. He wrote a ton for How I Met Your Mother.
Did he write the last episode? Because
I pray to God not.
Yeah.
actually, you know what? That's considered like almost not even considered canon anymore. Like, they've pretty much said the alternate ending is what you should go with. Thank God.
It's an alternate ending?
Yeah.
Is there alternate ending?
His wife doesn't die and they end up together and he's talking to the kids at the end about
That's
their
way
mom.
better.
I know, because I freaking hate Robin. I freaking hate Robin.
Way better.
I mean, Yishka, but any more final thoughts?
No.
Kid has a bush like a 40-year-old Serbian.
Brillo pad, bro.
And this is my nightmare. Two other lines that I fucking love.
Did Jason Segel win an Oscar for Muppets song?
I
think he was nominated. I think he wrote the song, yes.
Did him and Britt write the song?
Let me see.
Is that the I'm a Muppet?
Am I a man?
Yeah.
A Muppet of a man.
It doesn't look like he was nominated, so never mind.
Yeah, Britt, I think, won for that. Let's see here. Let's get into yes or no's. Let's start off with Britt.
Yeah, so I said earlier, I like this movie. It's just, there's so many uncomfortable parts for me in this movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is definitely a solid yes. I enjoy it. I mean, Paul Rudd, he plays this character really well, and he plays sarcastic really well, so it's pretty cool. I love Jason Steven Seagal. I think the supporting cast is really funny. I like Rashida Jones, even though she's kind of a hypocrite. And overall, it's a fun movie. It's a solid yes for me. I'll let you guys talk more. I talk more than anybody.
George.
Yo, you talked more, bro. This is Josh from Goshen. I give this movie a super solid yes. I laughed a lot, from the projectile vomiting to the stupid little, like, just kind of like writing jokes that are in this, like the little almost like lyrical vocal missteps that they do on purpose. I will say, this is my first time seeing this movie all the way through, for sure. One thing that was crazy was somebody that I used to work with. This movie all of a sudden illuminated that like 75% of their personality was Paul Rudd from this movie. And Ben, if you're out there listening to this, sorry I misunderstood you for so much time. I get you now more. It should have just seen this movie a lot sooner than this. So big yes for I love you, man. PK, you're a real one. Thanks for bringing this to us. This was fun tonight.
Thanks, PK.
Did your coworkers say like later some the Minjay or toast my goats?
Yep. And also slap at a bass all the time.
Wait, you never caught any of those references?
I've never seen this movie.
Josh. You're just leaving that man hanging out there.
No, he flat out told me at one point it was from this and that he really liked this. But like just seeing this movie last night, like just snapped everything into place. I've even heard him say, "Today's Tam Soy."
Hi on you.
Today's Tam Soy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Brett McKenzie.
Pappy.
That's Brett McKenzie. Oh,
Yeah, Brit.
oh man, you're right. He did write that. God, I love those two guys. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Definite hard yes. Unlike Josh, I watched this so many times back in the day. I think I had this DVD, so it was like one that I would watch in a regular rotation, like going to bed, even rotations. Like all of these lines are just burned into my brain. I did see some modern discourse around people calling this movie homophobic, which seemed a little bit weird because like Andy Samberg's characters, is gay, and like J.K. Simmons is like so proud of him. But I think like maybe it's part of the humor that they're going at is that it's like weird that he's trying to make friends, or that he doesn't want like a gay dude kissing him. But like I feel like that's part of like it's really tapping into a couple things, right? Like we talked about people that we know who didn't have any friends type thing, and like we also talked about just how hard it is to make friends as an adult. You know, it is hard if you don't already have friends, or if you move to a new town, or if you like work remote. You know, so like I think that's like a really relevant thing. I could see that being even more relevant now if they make I Love You Man 2. You know, like Peter's son's got to work remote and like is having a hard time making a friend or something. But yeah, I really like this movie. I really like this sort of run of comedies. I can't believe this isn't a Judd Apatow movie. It feels like it. This would be one of my favorite Apatow movies if it was. Definite hard yes.
Nice. I just want to say thank you, PK, for picking this movie and let us pod on it. Thank you so much. It's awesome. I love this movie. This is a hard yes. This is one of those movies that I quote a lot. One line in particular is like when my wife and I are on the phone. We try to riff off like what Peter says, and sometimes we'll just say, you know, I'll see you later, or I'll catch you at another time. And I don't know why, but that line...
Ben said that too.
Yeah, it's a great line. Like that line has always stuck with me. There's so many stars in this movie, even just little, like not little guys, but like seeing Matt Walsh in a small role. It's very cool. And I don't know why, but I feel like there's a shortage of comedies like this nowadays. You guys notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. Maybe it's cancel culture. Maybe the scripts just aren't coming in. I don't know. But I just think this is a hilarious movie. And around that time is like when comedies were just, they were just coming out like hotcakes. It was a lot of fun to watch. So this is a great movie. I hope they make an I Love You Too, man. I think that has a really great chance. I wouldn't say more of a serious movie, but kind of just some more explanation on Sydney's character would be a lot of fun. So hard yes.
Preserve pick from PK.
There we go. Pat, before we do some trivia, I think Josh has trivia too. Is that right, Josh?
No.
Okay.
that was a misnomer. Sorry.
I got you. Do we have an iTunes review you want to read?
We do, yeah. Once again, before I read this, shout out to PK. Thanks again. We love you, buddy. But this review comes from P.H. Thomas.
Pornhub Thomas.
The subject is Witness. Ooh. Not sure if that's the movie or Witness Me.
Witness Me!
But it's 5 stars. I inadvertently found this pod. The guys have become a constant companion.
Aww.
Recommend it frequently. 10 out of 10.
There we
nice.
go.
Beautiful review.
Nice. PH.
Really appreciate that. If you want to leave us a review, Spoiler Man will tell you how to do that. But we read them all when we get them. So yeah, thank you, P.H. Thomas. Pornhub Thomas.
No! What?
Does the witness have an exclamation point?
No, just the word witness. So maybe it was he found us through the Witness podcast?
Maybe through that. Let us know, Pornhub Thomas, if it's...
Yeah, reach out.
If it's Witness or like Witness Me, Blood Back, like which one?
I hope we know that. I hope you know that we'd say Pornhub with love.
Definitely. It's a 5-star review. He recommends the pod frequently. That's huge. We appreciate that.
That's huge. That's something you'd only see on something like Pornhub.
Thomas.
But what we also appreciate, and no one more than Josh, is trivia. I did make a trivia. Here, I'll send these to you guys. But it's a classic game of sort this shit out. These are all artists who appeared in the movie I Love You Man and their best album. Your task will be to sort these 7 artists by their top selling album, from least selling to most selling. So for the audience at home, the artists and albums are Vampire Weekend,
Moving Pictures,
The Cars with the Cars, The Black Keys with El Camino, which is also a car, Rush with Moving Pictures, Beck with Odelay, Dean Martin with Dino, the Essential Dean Martin, and The Flaming Lips with Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots. Least amount of sales to most amount of sales.
Did you send us the list, Pap?
Yeah, did you? I sent it on GChat. I can send it here too.
Yep.
No, I got it.
This is tough because these were pretty big albums.
Yeah, we'll go. Stevie did a great job hosting, so let's give him the advantage. We'll go. Brett, I feel like you know the most about music, so maybe Brett, Josh, Stevie.
No, going first is the advantage, but whatever.
Well, okay, you want to go
Whatever
first?
you say.
You can go first, Josh, if you want.
I think you just get the most chances if you go first. Least, I'll say.
They said least. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
least first, right?
Yeah,
I'll say
leastest,
El Camino.
mostest. Incorrect.
Okay.
Who's up?
Brett.
Vampire Weekend.
Incorrect.
Oof.
Stevie.
Flaming Lips.
Correct.
Good one. They're kind of a niche.
835,000 copies.
Really?
For Yoshimi.
I've heard that album. It's a good album.
I feel like the Flaming Lips are like a huge like C live band.
Yeah, and they had 2 really big albums, and then kind of haven't done much
Fell off.
before or since.
I'm one of those 35,000 people. That's really weird.
Yeah, 835,000. So you have Vampire Weekend, The Cars, Black Keys, Rush, Beck, Dean Martin.
So not platinum, but still.
Who's next?
You are.
You're still up. You keep going.
Sort this shit out, Stevie.
Sort this shit out.
I don't know. I don't like the fact that Beck has an album called Odelay.
You don't know that?
It's his
Fuck
biggest.
that guy. But
Just because he's a
He's a
Scientologist?
Scientologist, right?
yeah, he's a Scientologist. Fuck that guy.
Oh, did not
So-
know
Pick up the
that.
Battlefield Earth episode.
I will say Odelay.
Incorrect day.
Did we mention Beck on that episode?
I don't think so.
I don't
my
think
up.
so either.
Josh.
Josh is up.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to El Camino then.
You got to sort it out in order.
The Flaming Lips,
Correct.
the Black Keys.
Incorrect.
Flaming Lips. Flaming Lips.
Thanks.
Vampire Weekend.
Incorrect. Stevie?
Jeez Louise.
Say the Flaming Lips, then Moving Pictures.
Incorrect.
Fuck.
Josh?
The Flaming Lips, the Cars.
Incorrect.
The Flaming Lips.
One left.
The Flaming Lips. Dean Martin.
Correct.
Weird.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
one-
keep.
one
I'm gonna
to say.
keep going with it. If it ain't broke, it is broke. Vampire Weekend.
Correct.
Okay.
Vampire Weekend with 1.3 million. Dean Martin with 1.1 million.
Okay. Black Keys.
Correct. El Camino with 3 million. Nearly 3 times
Beck.
the essential Dean Martin. Correct. With
Okay, this is where it's gonna get-
3,052,000. Very close to Black Keys.
This is where it's gonna get different. I got 3 left.
2 left.
Two left.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh.
So it comes down to which one sold more, or which one sold less. The Cars with the Cars, or Rush with the
I
Moving Pictures.
am going to go against my gut, and I'm going to say Rush.
Rush sold 5.7 million copies and was less than the Cars.
The Cars.
Correct, with 6.4 million.
Nice. Good job, Brett.
Just because that they were like, I get it. The Rush is like a bigger band overall, but like Josh was, the Cars for like a 3 to 5 year period were freaking everywhere.
It's like Foreigner.
Maybe even longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I think you're underestimating that because the Cars, like fit into a lot of the weird, quirky styles that keep popping up since the 80s.
And late, like they have like a late 70s style too and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. I feel bad that Rick Ocasek died like 2 years ago and like nobody really talks about it.
Wasn't he famous for being like super ugly but having a hot girlfriend?
Oh, he's definitely ugly. No, rest in peace. He looked like a dog.
I'm just kidding. Dude, the president of Egypt sued for this shit. Yeah. Rick Ocasek's estate's going to be all over us.
The president didn't because he died 30 years before the movie came out. His daughter did.
Rick Ocasek's estate is going to come after it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hey, guess what? I am a couple $100,000 in debt, so good luck, Rick Ocasek's wife.
You get to you have a hot take, Brett, and you can toss it to Spoiler Man.
I think Anwar Sadat died for a good reason.
What the
a good cause. I mean, he died trying to do something right. It's really sad. I don't have a hot take. This is really fun. Thanks for listening. I wish there were more iPhone reviews.
Nice.
And, ladies, return the favor. That was spoilers.
A Monday warrior, mean stride. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
Special thank you to our patrons: Druid King.
Fuck you, Larry!
Matt Troll.
You know, I can see that because he's a great boyfriend.
But did
Gail.
you have any good friends growing up? I honestly don't remember any.
Brother Brian.
Grew up together in the same house.
Nick.
Put all his focus and energy into his relationships, and all his dude friends just fell by the wayside.
The Meg.
What's up?
Barky 420.
You play an instrument?
The Wolf.
I remember taking him swimming when he was 12 years old. Kid had a bush like a 40-year-old Serbian.
Total Movie Recall.
Big time. Big time.
Spencer.
Big time.
Big time. Slip the bass, big time.
Nurse Stacy.
Really sorry I lost my shit out there.
PK.
You look under your plastron, Dick Wicker?
If you'd like to request an episode, hear your name read by Spoiler Man, or even just help us make podcasts, please check us out on patreon.com/spoilerspodcast. Be sure to check out Corey's podcast, Big Dumb Movie. Our email is podcastspoilers@gmail.com. Twitter is @spoilers_pod. Our Instagram is podcast spoilers. It's lit. Josh Hensley from the Rutabaga wrote our theme song. Please support this podcast by leaving us an iTunes review.
I don't have a problem. I'm saying I would want to be Jack Sparrow. I would want to, like, I don't know. I think that would be a fun one to play.
That was Spoilers.